around and breathe. Take care of the nature before it takes care of you. Ooh, take care of the nature before it takes care of you.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Earth Check, the home where we tackle issues environmental. And today our focus is on solar system. Now, Emboo Camp is a camp that has powered and installed system, all thanks to solar system or solar power. How do they do it? Let's learn more. Many thanks, William, for joining us.
Thank you very much for coming.
Just a really brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
My name is William Santian, and I'm the manager and co-founder of Emboo River Camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a nice river. It's a nice camp, I must admit. But why in the middle of Maasai Mara? Why did you decide this kind of environment?
Maasai Mara is a popular tourism destination in the country, and bringing an eco camp into a popular tourism destination in a country is always a plus. So we looked in the aspect of how we can have a camp where we serve the need of the guest, and at the same time we take care of the environment by being eco.
All right, but also have fun and enjoy nature.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we've gone around. You've taken us on a tour on the different projects that you have, and I must admit, to you there's nothing like waste, because everything you do is recycled. But first, let's dive into the solar project. Why solar project?
Solar is a green energy, and solar is an energy that doesn't bring all those problems to so many parts of the environment. And we looked into it, and we wanted to have a solar that is so efficient, or solar energy that is so efficient, green. And we looked in how big we can go with this, and that is why we decided to bring the 40 panels that produce over 40 kilowatts of energy a day. And this energy will actually goes along well serving the camp and also charging the vehicles. And at the same time, we actually get rid of the emission of all the gases emission.
All right. So do we say that this part of the country, most of the time, solar is in plenty? Is that one of the reasons as to why you invested in solar?
It should actually go that way, but unfortunately, most of the partners and most of our competitors are not really ready to go this way. We are kind of like the first one to be fully solar. But you always find that some of the other camps will have a backup of a generator. We have zero backup of a generator to us. So our solar energy will serve us very well. And in a place like Maasai Mara, where we have sunshine for at least 6 hours a day, solar actually can do very well. And we are leading, and we hope everyone will see this and will join us. All
right. So this, in short, you're a trailblazer, of which I can agree. But when we talk about when we were at the camps inside and the tents, the water is hot. There's water in washroom. How did you implement the solar system?
We have a new technology for heating the solars. Heating the water using the solar. And with our new technology, if you have a maximum of 3 hours a day of sunshine, that is enough to heat the water for 2 days in those solar. So it's a glass tube which has more or less a compressurized tank which store hot water. So again, it's new, and we kind of like almost the first one in the Mara to go this way. And of course, this is expensive, and people is always trying to avoid, paying a little bit of money into this. But we actually dive into it as from the beginning.
All right. And how do you harness it?
The only way that we can harness the water is heating the water being stored in the vacuum thermos-like tank. It's just about 200 liters. And now this actually will go, as I said earlier, will go for a few days. When water is hot. And the same solar has provision of using our other solar on the background when we have, for example, 3 or 4 bad days of the weather. So this is still be able to be connected with our grid, our energy from the solar, from the actually AC solar.
All right, so this is the water is used in different ways, But when we were to, you said different tents will have different get amount of water. What happens? Like in a tent where people are 3 or 4, what happens?
Now, the water that is heated on these solar panels are 200 liters. So if you have like 3 people, even if it is like 3 days, we're actually heating 200 liters of water. So this water you need to still, dilute it with cold water. So if you have like 3 people staying in one tent, for sure 200 liters of water is quite enough. It's more than enough for them.
And that will last them for how many days? More than 2?
More than 2 days. And also, we don't really expect not to have the sunshine more than 2 days.
Yeah. So in days, you said, in days where there's no sun, obviously the water you've stored will take you until...
Will take us until some time, but again, we have a privilege to switch it into the solar panels from the batteries. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of course, everything has its positives and the negatives. Let's talk about the significance of solar projects.
Solar project, starting it actually is quite costly, but going long way is more cheaper. So I would say it is cheaper than the other energy, cheaper than the generators or the normal grid. So you have your own power on your hands, and you don't have to pay anyone. You actually purchase it, you actually have it, and you can go a long way with it. And if you look on the lifespan of the solars and the batteries, most of the time it goes more than 10 years, which, more than 10 years you already actually just get exactly.
You've recovered and all that stuff. All right, so we have solar power, and it kind of resonates with many people, because when you talk about climate change, Africa is one of the countries that really, the climate is, degrading at a higher rate. So is solar energy, according to you, the future we should all dive into? Absolutely,
with no option. And that's exactly why we actually went into this at the early stages. In most cases, people will look at starting a business and saying, well, I don't want to go this way because it's very expensive. I want to go this way. Then I will transform into the other way when I get a bit of money. So for us, climate change and emission of all these toxic gases is actually what we are against, and that's why we actually explore all of these ways of having green energy all along with the solars. So just to answer your question directly, solars is the good way to go, and I think everyone should do that.
All right. I've also I've seen people. I was in Talek, I saw them invest in solar, and I've seen a couple of locals when I was there. They were so happy they could benefit directly from the solar power that they had invested in. But let's talk about ecotourism and the impact the solar it's green energy. So at the end of the day, there's benefit with that, because at times you get guests who are like, it's green and all that stuff. Has it benefited you directly when it comes to ecotourism?
Yeah, very much, because once you'll be selling ecotourism in any region, people will buy it like straight away. They jump into it. So if I'll be talking ecotourism in Kenya and selling to a guest in America or whatever place, he will actually jump into it, knowing that this is the good way to go, and I'm actually have looked on other things before going into ecotourism, and they will see me as a camp as very responsible to nature and looking to actually solve some of the issues within my area and also within the world in large.
All right. So when it comes to the achievement of the United Sustainable Development Goals and the future of Kenya or Africa lies in the hands of green energy, would you agree to that?
Very much, 100%.
All right. And how do people, or what would you advise other people out there who think of investing in solar projects?
Just to go straight away into solar projects, and let's actually leave all of these toxic other sources of energies, like having generators. You can imagine what one generator will cost you, and also what actually will do to the environment, with all the oil, the diesels and spillage and everything, and also, the gases that they emit into the air. So I think we should all look at this, and let's all look and think about the environment and where the other generation will be maybe in 100 years coming.
All right.
Yeah.
When you talk about solar, most of you think it's something that is costly, but the alternative is really, really costly more than solar. And probably what you should be thinking about is going green energy. What I mean by green energy is solar or wind. This and much more after the break. Welcome back. Now, the importance of installing solar power, to be precise, is nothing compared to other sources of energy. By other sources of energy, I mean non-renewable sources of energy. But what you need to know about solar system is that it has a process. You can install it, and it is much more easier as compared to the other non-renewable sources of energy. So, William, many people are excited to know about solar and how it operates, and why you really invested in this, just like I am. So I'll take the ball is on your court.
Yeah, Yeah, thanks. Solar actually operates, as we said earlier, on green energy. So we looked at how are we going to power, how are we going to have all the energy needed for the camp. And we decided to go to solar. And for these solars, there are about 40 panels, and they produce over 40 kilowatts of energy a day. So that is way enough or way too much for us as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you operate? You know, this is the plant, right?
Yes.
So how?
So the power is generated from here through the heat radiation. And then this energy will be transferred into the powerhouse where there's batteries. And we store this energy in these batteries, and then we convert it using the inverter into AC. And that's what we use for charging the vehicles and using in the camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So directly from the sun, then?
So directly from the sun into the batteries, and then from the batteries to the inverter, and then from the inverter now to our own consumption.
Own consumption.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen there's so many connections and all that stuff. These are just like this. These are batteries, or how? Do you also monitor the amount of energy you get?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We monitor amount of energy, what we consume, and this will give us good calculation when we charge the vehicles and how much will be left for the camp. And also, we need to be sustainable in this. So we need to know the 40 panels that we have with the 18 LED batteries that we have. Is it enough? Is it something that's sustainable for us? So we have to monitor all the consumption and also the production of or regeneration of the power from the solar panels.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a place where you said you'll expand, you know, in large scale, and just, you know, because of the local tourism and all that stuff. So is it something worth investing in? Let's start from there.
Yes, it is, 100%.
And like wind or biomass.
Wind is another way to go, but currently, since Maasai Mara has good radiation of the sun, this is more easier and green and sustainable at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, it's costly. Some have volts, and how much, you know, if you can expand on the volts and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, now we have about over 40 generated from the solar panels, and then we have about 13 to 14 that we store. And what we need probably goes to maybe 9 to 12 kilowatts. So what is generated here actually can be stored in the batteries, but not all of it. So if we had more batteries, that means we'll actually have more volt or more energy that will be stored from the panel. So we don't need to add the panel.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Unless there's other information you really want to add.
Yeah.
On solar.
Yeah, also the other thing is that we look on all the appliances, and people sometimes think that it's not really easy to have a solar in the camp and just be fully solar. This is 40 panels, which in a good day, 6 hours of sunshine will be enough to have enough solar, enough power or enough energy for the camp. And for us, that is it. That is what we want. We don't want any extra stuff on that. And we are happy to be solar, but not having a generator as a backup. Whatever it takes to have a solar or fully solar, we will go that way, and we're happy with it.
You're happy with that?
Yeah.
So I think that's it, and I really do appreciate your time. And
thank you very much for having me.
You know, it's something that I'm really excited, you know, to see people going green.
Yeah.
Given that, giving climate change into consideration.
Exactly.
You know, changing climate change.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Asante.
Thank you.
So this is our powerhouse. Behind me here is the batteries, and these are acid-led batteries. And this is where the power is being stored. So we'll have AC, DC power coming into the batteries and then converted by this into AC. These are the charge controllers, and that's our colored screen where we monitor what we consume and what comes in, and also what is being stored in the batteries. Nice. In this colored screen, we have 3 display or 4 display that are showing us according to what is going on. So we have the AC load, which is in what we are consuming now in the camp. And then we have the generated, or how much is being generated by the solar panels that goes into the batteries and then being converted. And that is what you see on the yellow screen. And then we have the percentage of the batteries that is already stored there is on 62%. So today we're actually looking to go to maybe 80 to 90%. That means if we have another 3 or 4 hours of sunshine, we actually may get into that. And then that's the inverter, showing you actually how the inverter is inverting all the energy that goes through there. So these lines show you what is going into inverter, and that is going out, and this is what we are consuming.
Nice.
All right, William. So I really want to know how the water, this is where it hits.
Yes, this is where the shower water and the sink water in the tent is heated. And the tank up there is about 200 liters. It has a capacity of 200 liters. This glass tube actually are super efficient. Any water that heated and is stored in the tank can last for 3 days. And for this one, actually it's being shared by 2 tents, which should be more than enough for the people stay there in every night. And it's not highly pressurized, but actually has a little bit of pressure in it. So you have a lot of water coming in, or a bit of a pressure coming in every time when you open water in the tent.
So the consumers, the water they come from here is it can be so hot or so cold.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but in most cases it's very hot, because if the water can last for 3 days, and we are in the Maasai Mara where the heat generation is quite high, that means there will not even one day that the water up in that tank will not be hot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So 200 liters is a lot of water.
It is a lot of water. It is a lot of water, and I think it's a good way to go, because it's a new technology, and we are among the first people in the country to take this, and it's super efficient. Super efficient.
Okay. So why fence?
We're trying to blend in because now we have this metal frame.
Okay.
So this is just to blend in with nature. And you see the already climbers climbing up. So soon you will not see this structure. You only see like a bush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Emboo Camp is the first of its kind in the Maasai Mara and in Kenya when it comes to fully implementing green energy, in this case, solar power. Apart from using all the harnessed solar empowering the solar water pumps, showers and taps, Emboo River Camp has also managed to convert the solar power when it comes in DC to AC and use it for lighting, and guests can even charge their phones or use any other electrical appliances as they are advised. All this is made possible by the systematic array of converters, batteries which store the harnessed power, and special program which monitor and analyze the daily usage of electricity, which helps in planning ahead and putting contingency measures in place. Given Emboo River Camp's unique geographical location in the Mara, which receives a good consistent amount of sunshine, the solar panels they have put in place are able to harness about 42 kilowatts of power on a daily basis, which is almost thrice as much power that they use in a day, and the rest is stored.
Well, that's all we had for you in today's episode. My name is Anne Marshari. Until next time, stay tuned.